Welcome to Gospel Diaries, a platform that offers a unique avenue for artists to share their stories, express their thoughts, emotions, and personal journeys. Today we're in Indianapolis, Indiana, with Lamar Campbell.
Welcome to Gospel Diaries, y'all. I'm still in Nap Town. I guess I can say it because that's the pseudonym for Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm at the Mount Carmel Baptist Church with Minister of Music, Lamar Campbell. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Can I shake your hand?
Sure. I like how you start that off with shaking the hand.
Thank you. Oh, you watch?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. So look, Lamar Campbell, if you all don't know, you must be living on a rock somewhere, but he has a staple where he recorded a staple song that most Black Protestant churches sing every single Sunday. I'm talking about I Love You More Than Anything. And he's done so much more, and we're ready to delve into his gospel diary, so I'm excited. You ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Let's go.
All right, so this is 2025. I like to say that. What's going on with you, man?
Man, just like it's so much.
Mm-hmm.
And, you always searching for this downtime that you never seem to have.
Mm-hmm.
But welcome, first of all, to
Thank
Mount
you.
Carmel Church, to Indianapolis,
Thank you.
the home of some of the greatest gospel music ever. Yeah, and hope we get to talk about some of that too.
We will.
Yeah, of course. I got on the.
See, I'm a Bulls fan, so I'm just.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. I don't discriminate, but I got on my Pacers.
Okay, that's right.
Sweatshirt.
Okay.
You do know who they are, right?
I do. I used to like Reggie Miller.
Okay. Well, cool.
So look, I read an article, and you tell me how true this is, because you are fresh to death. They said, if I'm paraphrasing, it's almost like you never wear the same outfits twice. Is that true, or is that a myth?
That's a myth. A myth.
Okay.
It is a myth. Yeah. I like to say it like this. I like to put on garments of praise.
Okay.
Yeah, and I could wear a T-shirt and a sweatshirt every day of the week, but we do this for the people.
Okay.
I tell the people at Mount Carmel when they compliment me on some of the things that I wear, I tell them, I said, this is to the glory of God, but it's really for y'all, because I don't want y'all walking around here and say, we got a really good minister of music, but he's just so raggedy. Yeah, so I said, so this is for y'all. This is my tribute to the people that support me and know and love.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, are you from Indianapolis? Were you born and raised?
I am from Indianapolis.
Did you move somewhere else at one point?
Yeah, I lived in Houston.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, for 5 years.
5 years. What took you there?
Actually, before I'm telling my age by saying this, but a long time ago, many years ago, many years ago, I had a 40th birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And I feel like I've been in Indianapolis. I love Indianapolis. I've done so many great things here, been a part of so many great ministries. And when I got to 39, I felt like, have I done everything that I needed to do here? Is it a good time for me to move on? So I wanted to be in another city by the time I turned 40.
I like it.
So I had my 40th birthday in Houston, Texas.
Did you enjoy it?
Absolutely. I loved Houston.
Okay.
And for all of my Houston people that will get to see this, yeah, I absolutely love Houston. When I moved to Houston, it was, I'm trying to think if it was harder to move back to Indianapolis or if it was harder to move to Indianapolis, to Houston, even though I was so ready to move on when I moved to Houston. I don't know if I've ever shared this with anybody, so this is an exclusive for you. Yeah. The day that I got ready to leave, I mean, I would say I cried like a baby, but you know, even babies cry for a certain length of time and stop. But I was just like,
continual.
I kept crying, all the way to I had some friends come to see me off, all the way while my parents was taking me to the airport. They were like, "Are you gonna be okay?" And the airport was 20 minutes away, so we know that's a good 20 minutes. And then when I got to the ticket counter, the person at the ticket counter said, "Mr. Campbell, are you gonna be okay?" That's how bad it was.
Wow.
So Indianapolis, I love y'all.
Were your parents, did they raise you in the church?
Yeah, I always like to say, my mom took us to church to see if they were going to have church.
Okay.
So, and if they were going to have church, we would be there. That's how much we were in church.
Very loyal.
Yeah.
Staunch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, what denomination were you raised in?
I grew up Seventh-day Adventist.
You know, I had to learn a long time ago, you know, that Seventh-day Adventists, they have church too.
Yeah.
It may not be on Sunday, but they have church.
Oh, yeah. And they love Jesus. Yeah.
So being in that church, were you introduced to, when were you introduced to the gospel music community? Like, not as an artist, but as it relates to the music that was surrounding the city?
For me,
yes.
I think I grew up, my dad used to always listen to gospel radio.
What was your dad's name? Is he alive?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, we pay you respect. What's his name?
Millard Campbell.
Yes. Okay, you was listening to, okay.
He would always come in, and then early in the morning, we had Al Hobbs and Sugar Poindexter, back in the day, pioneers of gospel and gospel music and gospel radio, that I honor their memories. But used to always play gospel radio on blast early in the morning, and I just loved that music. Yeah. So I grew up it just being a part of my spirit. So I grew up not when I started playing music, I started to try to reproduce what I heard on radio, whereas some people's experiences of what they hear live, my mind tuned into being very professional, being polished, all the kind. That's just the way it was programmed. So I learned a lot about that, and then I started playing for my first church, which I made $7 on Sunday, and if I went to rehearsal, that was $7. So that's $14 a week. Yeah. I was 15, and I was rich.
Yes.
Yeah. So
did you have to pay allowance at home? I mean, did you have to pay any?
I didn't have to do none of that.
You know, some parents, they try to get you a head start with paying bills.
No, I didn't have to do none of that. But I, as soon as I got that first check, I let my parents know, you don't have to worry about buying none of my clothes no more. You don't have to do. So I don't know. I was kind of a grown young man, I guess, from early on. But at that church, it was called Mount Horeb Baptist Church, and I learned everything it was to know about gospel music and how it's supposed to feel and how it's supposed to make you feel, and the emotion about expressing yourself. And I noticed that I had it in me, but that was the place I was really able to that nurtured me, you know. And it was, I think when I went to the first rehearsal, it was 8 people in the choir. So I sat in front of that choir, and I just played because playing the piano is what really brought me to the table. And I could only play in a couple of keys. So I don't care what song it was, they had to sing it in one of those 2 keys. So the choir was actually more talented than they thought. If you can sing this song in that key, you can sing.
Thank you for watching Gospel Diaries. Let me tell you guys that we have merch at our store on Eric Mark. Thanks for supporting. Now let's get back to the show.
Came up under Al the Bishop Hobbs, and he was. I learned so much from him, and he had that good balance of traditional and contemporary at that time. Of course, most of it would be considered traditional now, but and then there was Robert Turner and the Silver Hearts, and they did traditional gospel, but they could sing with no mics, a raggedy keyboard, no drums, no whatever's there. They would go rock a church. And so those were like the two of the main pioneers. But there are a lot of other great groups here. Of course, in my era, there's Rodney Bryant and the Christian Community Mass Choir, and we did a lot around the same times.
Tyscot Records. So Tyscot Record has grown to be the largest African American owned gospel recording label and
Salute.
home here in Indianapolis.
Yes.
And as a child, you kind of saw that in the formation of the process of being Tyscot Records. Talk about that a little bit.
I was so hungry for gospel music, and I had the bug. Do you hear me? And to the point where I was blessed. Some people right here in Indianapolis saw that inside of me and said, "We're gonna give you the money to do your own record." As a matter of fact, Larry and Cynthia Bates, if they ever see this, and they invited me home over their house for dinner one night, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Dinner was nice and all that, and so they asked me all these questions about my music and all this kind of stuff. And I just thought we were having a nice evening. They dropped me off back home. Then the next day they called, when do you want to go to the studio? I was like, what? Mm-hmm. So anyway, going back to Tyscot. So while I loved everything about gospel. I love gospel radio. I just wanted to be around it. Mm-hmm. I would sit in people's rehearsals. I would sit, I did all of that. I just wanted to be around it. I wanted to glean. I was a sponge. Mm-hmm. And obviously, to the glory of God, I soaked up something. Right. But then a friend of mine, Sherry Garrison, who's minister of music over at Eastern Star Church here in Indianapolis, she was working for Dr. Scott in the record company, and I was like, man. So she's like, they could use somebody else. So when I started over there, I was shipping. Mm-hmm. So that meant the cassette tapes and the 33s, we were boxing them up and
33s. So that means this had to be 70s.
No, 80s.
80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I'm sorry.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Anyway.
I'm sorry, you're right. I'm
don't do that. Yeah. You're talking about something 45.
I'm thinking about 78. Please forgive me.
Yeah. Just this time. Okay. I kept working. I went from shipping to radio promotions. That's how I knew a lot of the radio promoters. Then I moved on up to promotions director there. So I did everything that I could do within that company. Mm-hmm. So
no, you was getting paid, right?
Yeah.
You was getting up to go to put it in the bank or something like that, right?
Well, you just interviewed Bishop
Well, we
Scott.
didn't talk about your paycheck.
I bet you didn't. But let's just leave it. I was happy to be there.
Okay.
And I did get paid.
Okay.
Let's just leave it like that. Okay. Yeah.
But you got a record deal out of the deal.
I did the record myself. Mm-hmm. And
you're talking about the one that you did on
89,
that record.
Yeah, 89. That's the year. Yeah. I did that myself, and then they picked it up.
Oh, so you paid for the recording? Yeah. Was it studio?
Yes,
right,
studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that's the one that Bates helped me fund. Yeah.
Bro, okay, it's bringing it full circle.
See how things?
Yes, sir.
You just keep talking, and you'll get the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah. So then I worked there, and I was there long enough to be there when we signed John P. Key.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was working there. So, and my John P. Key stories are private. Oh. But I will share this one.
Thank you.
Yeah. I will share this one. Okay. So if John P. Key sees this.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. He would call, he doesn't sleep, So he would I think he woke up about 3 p.m, and then 3 a.m, he's in full, So he would call me at least 2 or 3 times a night. I mean, not at night, but a week. Yeah. And just be like, Lamar, what they doing up there? Cause I need to talk to you, cause you gonna tell me what's really going on. So I wake up in the middle of the night, get them calls, and give him his report, and we've gone. But he's always been a great guy. I remember one time, one more story.
I'm listening.
I think I was the first one to bring him to Indianapolis for a midnight musical. So I drove over to Chicago. He was in Chicago to pick him up, and of course, he's a heavy sleeper.
Okay.
So I mean, I literally had to bring that door down. So we made it to the concert by midnight. But anyway, so yeah, he was that kind of guy. If he's and he still is. If he's in your corner, he's gonna do whatever he can for you. He's down to earth. You know, so there are some true down to earth people. Now, you hear all the stories about him being on the bus and not coming out, but there's reasons for that. But it's not because he's not down to earth.
So back to your record on Tyscot.
Yes.
So first, let's get here. So, because that record, it said Lamar Campbell and Spirit.
It said Lamar Campbell and Praise.
And Praise,
yes,
right. So it wasn't Spirit of Praise.
No.
So let's talk about the name change and talk about the organization of your choir. How did you form the choir?
So from Lamar Campbell and Praise to Lamar Campbell and Spirit of Praise. After, I mean, you wasn't gonna tell me I wasn't gonna be the next Walter Hawkins. You just couldn't tell me that. And then when that didn't happen, I was like, let's do something different.
Okay.
I'll keep playing. I'll do a little writing, and I'll do that, but I won't be trying to be that big star, you know, because it just didn't happen. But God called me back to recording because I didn't think I was going to record anymore.
We're talking 89.
Yeah.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, you let me know, it wasn't until 1998
absolutely
that you got back on wax.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely. And I actually started that choir around 95.
So that's a new aggregation.
Totally different. Yeah.
Wow.
But I was blessed to have 3 singers from Praise.
Can we name them?
Yeah. They're Lorene Lolo Hunt, which is Harris now, and Delphia Large. She has a different last name. And Valita Shand. Okay. Yeah, which she's deceased. Oh, wow. Yeah. So I was blessed to have a little part of that family. So they're literally, and me and Delphia have the same birthday, February 13th. Okay. So she literally has been able to see from you know, the first group to where God blessed us to. Yes. But so when we started this group, God gave me a release to do it. You know, people was tell you stuff and you be saying, God told me, no, that lady over there told you to do that. That wasn't God. But I kept hearing it back. And then I felt that I had a release because when I would go into, and I have to admit this, you know, I would go into churches and ministries and I would try to turn that choir or group into, give it my person, the whole 9, just like it was mine. And God spoke to me, it's like, no, that's the church choir. It's not your choir, that's the church choir. He said, now here's the time for you to do what you were trying to do at the church, but do it exactly the way I've called you to do it. And you can, and I'm going to give you the vision for it. So when I say release, and then I knew it was God because he said, it's going to be a choir. And I was like, choir? Because I'm not a choir boy. I didn't, I grew up on the whinings and commission and, groups and soloists and of course the Whitfield singers. And, I grew up liking that Andre Crouch, the Hawkins. So that's my background. Richard Smallwood singers. I'm big big fan. Fred Hammond, all that stuff. I can go on and on. But so when he said choir, I was like, are you kidding me? How am I gonna do this? So he basically said, just ask people, and people think you did this big audition for your choir and all this kind of stuff. And some people used to tease me when we get off buses and go places. They say, well, how do people get to be in your choir? They got to send in a headshot. I'm like, what are you talking about? But anyway, I was like, but they were just people that believed in me and that were willing to let me beat them up at least once a week in rehearsal. When God just gave me tunnel vision on how he wanted this ministry to go, and he gave me the mission was to record music that puts people in relationship with Jesus Christ. And if you know anything about our music, and it's just like God to give us the kind of song like More Than Anything that immediately puts us in the presence of God, and no matter what language it's sung in, or even when you just hear the intro or whatever. So, that was God being faithful to and confirming a vision. And as a result of that, we try to stay true to doing music, that kind of music, with songs that are relevant, like All About the Love of Jesus, Closer, and He Won't Let You Down, and I mean, just so many. And I found myself even this past week going through listening to some music that inspired me in a way that it just really kind of brought me to tears, because I could reflect on the.
I
hate to do this, man.
I'm with you.
I can reflect back on the spaces that I was in when God was giving me those lyrics, and to know that that they were blessed people that I'll probably never even meet. And so for us, so many people, what I'm seeing now, so many people want to be gospel celebrities, gospel stars, and all of this, and we were just a choir that came along, that God called us to do it. He gave us music that was bigger than who we were. And we spent the rest of the time chasing the music. So we didn't have time to figure out how to be grand and all that kind of stuff. Even though I'm sure we learned a little bit of it.
Okay. But on the spiritual side, I do want to go here because I just want to stay spiritual, because we got to talk about EMI. But like when you think about songs like I Need Your Spirit, man, dude, like when you hear it, man, and then it gets to the special, it's like it's a moment there that you could just stay there, and it's like you're in the presence of God. It's just like it's a total experience when you hear that song. Like that song is amazing, man. I must say that was the first time that I was introduced to you, because you sang it on the Stellars.
Yeah, we got a chance to do that on the Stellars.
And that was
and even to today, I think we are the first group from Indianapolis to ever actually open up on the Stellar Awards. Although there have been artists that have gone on and been on there before. But I mean, God just gave us favor, man.
Things that they'll tell you is, it makes me feel good. Well, we've got a group out of Indianapolis whose gospel style is a mix of pop, rock, jazz, and R&B that guarantees to make you feel good. So put your hands together and welcome Lamar Campbell and Spirit of Praise! Come on, put those hands together if you love Jesus! How many of you know you need the Spirit of the Lord just to make it? Come on, let's give him the glory! I need for me to survive another day.
EMI, and they signed you as the first gospel act. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Sharon Riley, or no?
Yep, Sharon Riley.
The next one.
Yep. And then Darwin Hobbs.
How did okay? So was you scouting for a label, or like
Well,
how did
here's
that?
the thing.
Okay, here's the thing.
man. Here's the thing. You're trying to tear me up today. But here's the thing. When we did that, we had investors for that record too. That first record, which was entitled
It was
Lamar
no
Campbell and
title,
Spirit.
right? It
The
was
self-titled,
self-titled,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So we had investors for that. And so that night we did that recording, the investor dropped out the night before the recording. So we done flew in all these people. We've been rehearsing. And they said, okay, we not doing this no more. So I didn't even tell my group because I didn't want to lay that burden on them, and I was just praying that we would sell enough tickets and we would to at least pay all the bills from that night,
Right.
so we wouldn't be an embarrassment. And God did that. He honored that. But that night, Cor Sanchez Harley was the producer of that project. So I had worked with him on. Some people remember the Radio Angels.
Yes.
And
so
that's
you would
so you would know.
yeah.
That's how me and Angela became
Okay.
very great friends.
We're referring to Pastor Angie Spivey.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No. I just wanted everybody to know who
yeah,
we're talking about.
yeah, Pastor Spivey.
Okay.
And so actually that song was written by Al Hobbs, so I had to teach it to the choir and then teach it to her, the lead and all that kind of stuff. So, and then I went on to write some other stuff for her.
Hold on, pause. Pause there.
Yeah.
So talk about that song, So You Would Know. You wrote Al wrote the song.
Yeah,
talk about teaching the song.
Well, teaching that song. Now, that's a part of the when you have a musical connection, because I was his MD at the time.
Okay.
Back then, and the fact that this is how God sets up stuff. Only God can do this stuff. So all of the choirs in the gospel music workshop were recording, and it was the gospel announcers.
Right.
They're not a choir, but he got this idea that they can record, and if anybody could play the music, of course they could play what they sung or they helped put together. So came up with this song, and then of course he would write this stuff down at the IHOP and on a napkin and all this kind of stuff, and say, "Tell Lamar, come on, we're gonna get this together." So the way God would have it, he called me to be the choral director for that project, which so here I am. This is before Lamar Campbell and Spirit of Praise. This is right before that. I'm the announcers across, and that's when the Announcers Guild was huge in the gospel music workshop. So here I am, getting ready to be the choir director of all the radio personalities, the key players, and I had no idea. So anyway, working with that project, because I'm dealing with announcers, so these aren't real singers, there were some there, but so it was some additional work. But and then my group, Spirit of Praise, we did some of the background to kind of help balance things out. But it was such an awesome experience because it was something that had never been done. It was groundbreaking, and the music was from people that probably would not have been able to have songs on other. It's just I always believe that God still uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things, and so I guess I kind of embody that, and so it's. Of course, you got to bring the clay. I remember this. I'm jumping all over the place. Yeah, but I remember one time when I was doing a souvenir booklet. This was back to Lamar Campbell and Praise, and I had got all these autographs because we used to get autographs back in the day. So I wanted to fill the book up with all the autographs that I had, and then Al Hobbs did an autograph, and most of the people were gracious and made sure that I got it and put them in there. But I remember to this very day, that he said, stay blessed. Your class is showing. So even then, there was a level of class. And when I say that, I don't mean it in a negative way, or like how some people would say a diva or something like that. Only, but God has always put inside of me to do gospel music on the highest level that I could do it. Yeah, so there's always a goal to reach higher. So no matter what I was doing, when I was working with the 8 voices at Mount Horeb, and when I started my mom, yeah, my mom is deceased now.
Oh,
But why are you doing this, man?
what is your mom?
It's been a couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah, but my mom, when I was at church, you know, of course, you had all of the people that knew how to read, who, you know, at the Seventh-day Adventist church, they knew how to read, and you know, I was young, and I wasn't trained. My mom made sure that I took piano lessons, and she said, "You're gonna take these piano lessons, and you cannot stop taking them until you turn 18." So I'm so thankful for her for
Yes,
giving me
sir.
that
Yeah.
foundation. You making sure I had that foundation. I just wonder if she really envisioned all the things that I would do. We used to do these concerts for CD releases at EMI at Sam Goody's, and yeah,
I seen an article. Yeah.
and this one particular, we did 2 of them there in Indianapolis, uh, uh, and there was this white lady, and that was another thing. I wanted our music to cross all racial boundaries, and you know, we wanted it to be universal,
Yeah.
and God did that. He did that. I'm able to hear people in other countries sing our music in their language. Yeah. So God did. He honored all of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But there was a lady at this concert that was living in her car, and she just wanted to come, and she bought I don't know if it was a thing, I guess had to be a CD. She bought the CD, and then when we had the next release, we did it at that same store. She said I had to come back. She said because when hey man.
I'm with you,
Yeah,
man.
but she said when I bought this CD the first time I had you sign it, I was homeless. I was living in my car. And which came
That's ministry.
She said I had to come back to tell you because I'm a registered nurse now.
Wow.
And was listening to your CD every day to help me get from being homeless to being able to have a great livelihood, finish her goal of being a registered nurse and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Man, this ain't fair.
Like you now we have a transparent moment. Like I had a layover before I got here, and I got to Atlanta, and I found out that my flight was canceled. I didn't know what I was gonna do. You know, and then all through that plane ride, I was listening to "I Don't Care How It Looks."
I don't care what it looks
what
like.
it looks like, and it's just like, first of all, who's the lady that's leading that song? What's her
Denise
name?
Clark, who still sings with us today.
She ministered. Like there's one part she said something about crying, ooh, crying or something. I said, woman, I'm crying right now. It's on the second album released by EMI.
I Need Your Spirit.
Yeah, I
don't
need
care
your spirit.
I don't care what it
I
looks
don't care what it looks like, and the harmony. I don't know if you should listen to the harmony or the lyrics first or the music. It's just a masterpiece to me. It's just a beautiful, beautiful situation.
And dude, it's one of those songs that I mean, if you listen to the words, you don't have to ask me what I was going through. Yeah, like the time when those investors dropped out, you know, and the time. This is what I was going to say earlier. The night of the recording for Spirit of Praise, when the investor dropped out, God at least had some other record executives in the house. Now we didn't, and they made me some offers, but we didn't sign with them. It didn't work out. And then after that, I went almost another year without being signed after having all that money, and they're trying to figure out how we was going to work this thing out, because obviously it was money we didn't really have.
Right.
And but he saved. I could have signed with those other people, but EMI wasn't formed yet.
Yeah.
So he's like, I just want you to know that somebody wants you, but you're going to have to wait for what I prepared for you. And what he prepared for me
was greater than what you even expected.
Yeah. Was to be the first artist signed. And I didn't. And when I say, and it's called Motown Gospel now, and which is the same label. But what people don't know is it was really it was like a little Motown.
Listen, have you looked on YouTube lately and seen how many hits is on More Than Anything, I Love You More? It's like millions.
Man, it's crazy. What's crazy about that is we knew that was a special song when we were recording it. But God allowed us to introduce that to the world, and there are people that want to be artists, and they are great singers, great musicians, and that's somebody's dream to have a signature song, and that God would find favor with us and trust us with it. That's
something.
Yeah, it's and so when it comes down to being cocky about any of that, and shouts out to Rick Robinson too, who played a significant part in in our career and with More Than Anything.
Okay, so look, I was working at a record shop. I see this big tall man. I'm still finding my way. Okay, big tall man, and he has this image on. He's something. He's a singer, musician, basketball player. He's somebody. Okay, and I'm like, why do you look so familiar? I guess if I'm remembering right, he was like, his name was Rick Robinson. It's like he wrote I Love You More Than Anything. And I was like, to me, get out of here. He said, no, it's on Lamar Campbell's album. I picked it up. I'm like, Rick Robinson? Wow. How was you introduced to that song?
What's crazy about it is Sanchez Harley. Shouts out to Sanchez.
Yes, sir.
He connected us. He put together what he would call an A team, but he put it together. Derek Lee, all of those, Terry Baker,
drummer,
and then Al Willis, a guitar.
Anthony wasn't bass, was it?
Anthony Harmon. Oh my
rest
God.
in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. But,
okay.
And Danny Witherspoon.
Yes.
And it's just, So he heard a song on that I Need Your Spirit record called I Really Love You, and he said that's what inspired him, and he sent a demo, and then he came to the recording, and when he heard the song, he was like, man, everything that I had I cannot believe this, everything in my head that I heard and envisioned this song to be happened tonight. I said, what? He said, no, man, it's so weird. So how God connects people, it's just amazing to do amazing things and humble people, and
so the night of the recording,
when we recorded it live,
what was that like? Because all I know is I love Jesus.
It was just, it was amazing.
Yes, sir.
But we knew that we loved it. You know, back then, one of the big anthems for us was on the record prior to was With My Whole Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so it reminded us of how that song made us feel. We had no idea, you know, what God was going to do with it and how he was going to do it. So man, we're just blessed.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so many people have recorded versions of it, and some really cool stuff.
Shout out to Anita Wilson too. She actually,
Absolutely.
I love that one.
Absolutely.
And Rick was on the on the keys on that one. I was like, that's powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Travis
Green. No,
Malloy.
Malloy, yeah. He
did
a remix.
Yeah, like, they've done some remixes, and then it was on Sunday service,
mm-hmm.
and
yes,
you know.
Yes.
Want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything.
Got to preserve our history. So how does that relationship go? You have a writer of a song, you have an artist. Like, how does that go? And say, for instance, like someone else wants to record the song. How does that go? What is the detail?
It's the business if you take care of business.
We're listening.
It's the business if you take care of business. Mm-hmm. You know, I've seen some of my songs on projects that I know they have not licensed. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's just like, oh, I did your song. Can I do your song? He said I could do it. It don't work like that. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, just because it's a major hit for one person, it don't mean it's gonna be a major hit for you.
Right.
You know, and what you do may only remind them to go back and pick up pick up the original version. So we have a lot of myths about that part. But you know, if any song that's already recorded, anybody can record.
Okay.
But if you do it without going through the proper channels, leasing it and licensing it, mm-hmm. You know, if an artist or a writer wanted to sue you, they could do that.
So Rick Robertson, he does have copyright for that song,
yes.
Right? Okay, so if someone else records that song, are you in on that particular procedure or no?
As the artist, I am.
You are. Yeah. Okay. In the industry.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this.
Okay.
I don't, me personally, mm-hmm. I don't feel let down by the industry in any way. I just grew up feeling like what God has for me is for me. Mm-hmm. And if it's a door closed, God allowed it to be closed. I'm not mad at nobody. Mm-hmm. But in terms of, in the industry is not we say gospel industry, but we should take gospel off and just say industry. Yeah. It just happens to be the vehicle that gospel comes through, but it's not a specific industry for gospel that really nurtures ministries and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, they're there to make dollars and cents. So I think what we are seeing now, I shouts out to Dr. Bobby Jones. You know, some of what a lot of people know about gospel music, period, is what we see on Bobby Jones, what we have seen on Bobby Jones and what we grew up seeing. And now sometimes we're a little disappointed when there are opportunities for gospel music to be displayed or televised or on the big stages or the big award shows and stuff. And the choices that they use secular artists to minister some. And I know that's because of the ratings, but I wish it were so that we fought for the authenticity of our music the same way the hip hop culture would or the rap culture. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you can put her on it, but I'd rather hear Mother sing that song.
Right.
You know, and we kind of do what we got to do to make it work, to be on these stages or to be represented.
So touring, like, have you done any tours?
I got a chance to tour with actually CeCe Winans.
Really?
Oh man.
Okay.
One CeCe Winans.
And so, how many CDs and how many dates did you have on this tour?
I did a Christmas tour with her.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was I think it was 3.5 weeks.
Okay.
Every night.
Wow.
Yeah, and my CeCe Winans story is she's the same every day, all day. She protects her voice without being rude. She we could not do a sound check without a prayer and a scripture. Yeah, no. So that's the real deal. And God has honored her. But I remember, because this was early on and we had to do these question and answer things at the concert in the Christian bookstore. And so she'd be sitting in the chair, I'm sitting in the chair. And then now we have time for questions and answers. I'm just coming out. They ain't gonna ask me no questions. And CeCe they would ask her something. I think that would be a good question for Brother Lamar. I mean, always so gracious and always so sweet, you know. And one time I saw this girl that was a big fan of CeCe's, and she came up to shake her head, and she just passed out on the floor. And and here's me. I'm gonna give your audience the look that I had. So anyway, and so CeCe just went on to the next person. I'm like, I want to be CeCe. Do you see this? Do you see this woman in the floor? Shouts out to CeCe Winans. Do you see this woman in the floor?
The lady passed out.
Yes. Do you see this woman in the floor? And so when I said she went on to the next time, no arrogance or anything, but it's like, she's seen that before. She has seen this before.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then got a chance to do tour with Aaron Neville.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was cool because it was a New York tour, so we did the Today Show. We did, we did a lot of
Today's Show. Wow.
Yeah, we did. Good Morning. No, it was Good Morning America. We did Apollo, and we did a lot of Christian television and stuff like that. So we've had a lot of opportunities. I got a chance to tour with I did a 3.5-month tour in a gospel play that you probably didn't know I was yeah. I got a little thespian in me. Yeah. But those were real tears, fuck no.
Okay.
No.
So who would you like to collab with?
Well,
is there anyone?
Right now, I don't want to say that there's not anybody that I would like to collab with. I've been blessed to collab with some of the main ones that Fred Hammond. Those were my big two when I was chasing that kind of thing. So right now, there's some people that I would like to work with, if it works out. So we just have to see what that vibe is. I don't want to really call out any names, but if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. But I do have a few people in mind. But we'll just see what God says. Yeah.
Oh my God! Listen, I have laughed. I don't, wept and all this good stuff. But I'm just honored to be here with you, man. I appreciate this moment. I really do.
Well,
thank you so much.
Praise God. I hope you got something that you can use.
Oh, I'm sure. These people are going to love this right here. Can I please shake your hand one more time?
One more time.
All right. Anything else you want to say to the people? Wait, how can someone book you?
You can book me. I'm going to give you my booking information. Okay. So it's going to be somewhere on this video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you can always go to now this is the thing. I say that a lot.
Well,
right?
monks say that too. Do you watch Monk, the TV show?
No, I do not.
Okay, he says that. Okay.
Yeah. But there's so many. Let me shout out all these people that want to believe that these other people that they are talking to, that's asking you for money, and that's telling you how good you look and how fine you are, and they have my picture, but it's another name. Y'all, please, they're scammers. Yeah, please don't do that. I won't be asking for your money, but I do communicate on my social media pages. Okay. So Lamar Campbell on Instagram, and of course Lamar Campbell on Facebook. Okay. On TikTok, it's Lamar Campbell.
We'll find it. We'll put it up there.
Yeah, if you find Lamar, and if it's something crazy or shady, that ain't me. It ain't gonna be me.
We're waiting. Open the sky.
Open the sky. Yeah.
Anyway, again, thank you. As I always say, you guys, love on someone and trust me, you will help change a life. See you later. Tell the people bye.
And tell somebody you love them for real.
That's right.
I love you. Bye.